Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Tuesday, April 1st, 2025 pre-market report. I want to cut right to it. What I want to discuss to start is a concept that you and I have spoken about before, but I really want to push a few points home with regard to the few dynamics that are in play. I want us all to come away with a better understanding of what's happening and why. And not so much what we can expect, but what we know is about to happen. So let's talk about this. With regard to debt and deficits, we have covered this to the point of nauseum, but because of the current events in play, we're going to see things moving forward again that are going to be mind-blowing on an epic scale. So let's start off with these things here. Number one, again, this is kind of a repeat, but I want to push this point home. Expect vast and accelerated debt expansion here in the United States, especially and around the world. You have to understand what's going on here. The United States is failing. And it's failing not by accident, not because of a comedy of errors. It's being brought to its knees. America, the United States, is being brought to its knees deliberately and methodically because they want to bring you on your knees. Can I say this another way? We're watching the world de-dollarize, turning their back on the dollar, our products, our debt, on us, okay? And this mechanism, it's not new. This has been going on here, but it is now accelerated. So what are they doing? The mechanism here must continue, meaning vast debt expansion. Otherwise, this whole thing, this illusion, will become extremely real, extremely fast. What have they chosen to do? They have chosen to use war as a way to expand the debt. We are at war. It's nearly devoid from the mainstream media outlets. You can't know what's going on over there overnight. Just in case you were wondering what's going on over there, look this up for yourself, and I'll cover this in a moment here. The United States is striking the capital of Yemen. Of course, we're only killing guilty people over there. You know that, right? You realize that you're responsible for that as well, okay? What happens in one part of the world to the innocent weighs on all of us. Okay, I'm not saying everyone here is innocent, but this thing here, this is not a war on terror. This is a war on you. It's a war to allow the Federal Reserve to inflate, to fulfill its goal, to own it all. That's what this is. It's a mechanism to vastly inflate the debt because without doing that, again, the illusion that we're in, that everything is prosperous and we're great and everyone the United States is the beacon of the world and everyone wants our products, they want our debt, they want our dollars. Most people have no idea what's going on, but you do. War, I'm going to say it again, is the number one way to pull borrowed dollars into the system on a scale that's incomparable to anything else. And this war is going on around the clock, 24/7, unrelenting, and as President Trump himself said, this is an annihilation. This is an annihilation. He did say that. You don't believe it? Look it up for yourself. So, as I was writing this list down, so expect vast and accelerated debt expansion. We're going to get rate cuts. Rate cuts, massively negative for the purchasing power of the currency. Let's just put these two things together. Vast debt expansion. Where does the cash come from? The hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of billions that we've already spent on this new war. Where does the cash come from? Do we have a stash, a little safe somewhere where we can pull cash out and fund it? No, it's coming directly from the Federal Reserve, and that is making the Federal Reserve monumentally stronger. Okay. It makes us monumentally weaker. It devalues the currency. Every mechanism you can dream about is being utilized right now to devalue the currency. And what do we know about that? Devaluing the currency robs the middle class blind. It robs it straight out of the economy and pushes all that wealth right up to the 1% and 2%ers. This is theft on a scale that we've never seen before in the history of the world. So, vast debt expansion via any mechanism they can come up with. Rate cuts are coming that will allow the Fed to inflate as well. Do you see what I'm talking about here? Every mechanism in place right now is being utilized to empower the Federal Reserve, just like, well, it's been going on forever here. It's not going to stop. Central banks have an ancient force behind them. I think we can relate to that. I believe we can all recognize the incarnation. Okay. It's anti-life. I don't know another way to put that either. It consumes. Does this sound right to you? We've been covering some of this stuff lately. It does not gift us anything. It takes more. Understand? Okay. So that's what we're going to see here, and the collusion between governments around the world with their respective central bank. We all lose here. Okay, we all lose, and we're all losing. And right now, it's the United States losing on a scale that we've never seen before. And this is not an accident. This is deliberate. So I went on to say massive currency devaluation on the back of the concepts that we've just spoken about. A much faster decline in the economy, a greater and faster transfer of wealth right up to the 1 and 2 percenters. More pressure on the middle class as well. Now let's go over what's happening here with the markets. The 10-year yield is free falling. Someone out here is buying a massive amount of debt. We know who this is. Who is the lender and buyer of last resort? Pretty obvious. Okay, we know who that is. The US dollar is still holding barely at a very critical level. This is a relative strength. This has nothing to do with purchasing power. Other currencies seem to be replacing the dollar with regard to a safe haven. Let us move forward. Stock futures are lower across the board. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. Just hold that thought. This is what's going on with commodities. What a heck of a run that we saw yesterday with crude oil, up like 3%. Cryptocurrency is getting a bit higher as well. You know, we're being bridged into a new system, a system that you neither voted for nor wanted. We're adding cryptocurrencies to the U.S. Strategic Reserve, not a mention whatsoever about the gold, which may or may not be in Fort Knox here. Remember what may not be there between Elon and President Trump. No rush to get over there. Something's going on. Again, you have to understand that. I think we're pretty much on the same page. We're not adding gold or silver to the U.S. strategic reserves. That should tell you something as well. That's real wealth. You have to understand. Everything else is just credit. Anyway, or debt, of course. Let us move forward. So Goldman Sachs now raising the specter of recession to 35%. People, we are going into something so much more dark than a recession here. This is an elimination. This is an extermination on multiple levels here. They want to attack us via any mechanism they can come at our core, at our spirit. That's what they're looking to do. They want to break us, and it's working. It is working. The vast majority of people, not you and me, you see, we understand where our strength comes from. And there are some forces out here, stop it. Like in the video from yesterday, my morning video. We are really making a breakthrough here, people. I think we're on the same page. Now, going back to what's happening here that you're not allowed to see. Fresh U.S. airstrikes overnight extend air campaign targeting Yemen capital city. You're not supposed to know this stuff. You got to dig for it. Let's talk here. So U.S. airstrikes in Yemen against Houthi rebels are now striking the Yemen capital. So this all began on March 15th. We all know about that here. I'm going to just skip a lot of this. These strikes have gone on around the clock with no sign of letting up. Again, it's a mechanism to pull cash into the system to vastly inflate the debt here. People were really excited about what Doge may or may not have been doing here. Okay, still no arrests, no accountability, but we're told that's what's going on here. Focus on that. Don't focus on the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that they're pulling into the system. I told you guys from day one that this was going to be a shell game and to not be deceived and fall through that trap. Many of you did, but I hope you're now starting to see the light. Tomorrow is Liberation Day. Liberation Day is almost here. Liberation Day referring to the comment multiple times by President Trump regarding the trade war. Tomorrow is Liberation Day. In other words, D-Day for tariffs. And this again, this trade war is going to hit you. You're not allowed to know that what this is really all about. It's a mechanism to bring you to your knees, to cause you to suffer, to squeeze you, okay? It's not really about fair trade or anything else. You may think it is, but this is a tax on you. And the great negotiator, you're trying to tell me that he couldn't actually negotiate something? He has to use these tariffs as a negotiation tool. Did you really fall for that trap? I think a lot of you probably did. But this is not what it seems to be. Nothing is what it seems to be here. There is a dark, dark force on us all right now, and we can feel it. You could sense it. You could smell it. You can taste it. Am I right? Yeah, I think we're pretty much on the same page. So Liberation Day tomorrow. We're not liberating anything, just in case you were wondering here. Not making us richer. We're blowing all that cash on war, expansion of war. And of course, this is going to go on and on and on, just like all these other wars. And we're going to hear, oh, yes, maybe there's a deal now, but the deal isn't there. Maybe there's a deal now. Oh, but the deal isn't there. Maybe there's a deal. You remember the same kind of rhetoric during President Trump's last tenure with the China deal? Oh, we have a deal. We have a deal. Oh, no, we don't. We have a deal. We have a deal. Oh, no, we don't. We have a deal. We deal. No, it's this mechanism going back and forth. It's the same thing with wars, the continuation of wars. Again, central banks are not going to stop. They're the ones pulling the strings. It ain't presidents, kings, queens, dictators, or monarchs, okay? These are just entities. They're not even human, okay? Put there to play on your mind as a plague on you. You understand? Liberate yourself, people here. We answer to the Almighty, period, the end. And if you have believe that any other human being on this earth has your best interest other than us, this family that we've created here, we're looking out for each other always here, then you're definitely misplaced here. But we know where our strength comes from. You get it? You know what I'm talking about here? Comes from one source, the source, period, the end. Now, what this means for the stock market here, let me tell you what this means for the stock market Liberation Day. What does the stock market hate above all things? It's only one thing. That is uncertainty. Once the market becomes certain of something, it'll recover. What do we know is going on here? Corporate profits are at or very close to record highs. How's the economy looking for you? How's the middle class looking for you? What's happening to U.S. small businesses that are being wiped out? Okay, we knew this. We've been calling this dead on for as far back as you want to go. This is the mechanism of theft on a scale that is unimaginable here. Sure, let's shovel all that cash right up to the 1% and 2%. How does that work here? Currency devaluation. Do you realize where I'm always going back to? The root cause of the problem? The root cause of the problem is, again, the loss of purchasing power of central bank issued notes, which is a destroyer of us. It's consuming us all. That's what central banks are, a very, very dark force. And we have Wall Street in bed with Washington and with the overlord here being central banks. You understand? It's not about you and me. It's about a new system. It's about a takeover. And they want us on our knees, people. We're not getting on our knees. You know that. But that's what's going to happen here moving forward. And I start to pay attention to these things, people. And again, there are those and things and entities and forces that don't want you to know these kinds of things. And they're going to go out of their way to prevent you from hearing this stuff, because maybe it would awaken you a little bit as to what's going on. You can't be allowed to be awake. You must be lulled into some other sense of, I don't know what it's trying to do, what it is trying to do here. But I think it's getting more and more evident every single day. How about you? Anyway, guys, listen, that's kind of where we're at today. Now, Today is the first of the month. On the first of every single month, I humbly ask for your support. Hey, Greg, you know what? You're doing a great job. I really appreciate your efforts here to enlighten all of us here in whatever perspective that you may gain from me. I hope you're getting something from all this here. So with that, again, all I ask for is $5. There are several ways that you can do this. There are links in the description of this video. You can also hit that little dollar sign down here as well, however you want to look at this. But if you're able to, all right, this is not compulsory at all. And I understand things are tough for people, but if you're able to, I would appreciate your support here. Okay, I got your back. I know you got mine as well. So if you are so inclined, if you're able, and again, I just do this on the beginning of every month, usually on the first here. Please support my work. I would greatly appreciate that. And again, $5. That's it, like a cup of coffee, something like that. Anyway, as I said, links in the description of this video. People, we got each other's backs always, and we will never let each other down. Our truth, the truth which isn't from us here, okay? It comes from a greater source. I think we can all establish that here. We've been given this platform. We have been gifted this platform here. We didn't create this. This is obviously a gift that we can all share things with each other here and expect the attacks to come. They're going to, okay? And we see that. We see it in the comments. They reveal themselves to us. Let them do that. Let them do that. Don't engage them, all right? I did see a few heated exchanges as I went through the comments. That's what they want from you. These forces, these invading entities here, they want to engage you. They thrive off your rage. They want you to be fearful, full of despair. You understand? Don't engage them. Let them be. All right? Anyway, that's it, people. Look, love you all. I mean that with all I got. And I'll see you later. 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. That's it.